Did you know in Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, the Grey Haven scene actually had to be shot 3 times? This ended up being hard for the actors since they had to be crying for most of the scene. During the first take, they found out that Sean Astin was wearing the wrong shirt under his cloak. During the second take, the negatives were accidentally exposed to light, which caused a white haze over the footage. But the third take ended up being successful. Did you know in The Dark Knight, Michael Caine forgot his lines due to meeting Heath Ledger? The Joker crashing the party at Bruce Wayne's penthouse marks the first time that legendary actor Michael Caine sees Heath Ledger in the whole getup. Heath's performance was so incredible that even the accomplished actor Caine was so terrified upon seeing him exit the lift that he ended up forgetting all of his lines. Thankfully, it was just a rehearsal. But it just shows you that not only were fans blown away by Heath's performance, but also his fellow cast members. Did you know in Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring, Boromir's death is very different than in the original book? The Uruk-hai leader, Lurtz, doesn't appear in the books. Boromir is actually killed by random orcs that are gone before Aragorn finds him. Lurtz was made to give the Uruk-hai a face for the film. During the theatrical release, his name is never spoken, but in the extended editions, Saruman states his name. While he's a completely new character, he closely resembles the generic Uruk-hai leaders. Did you know in Justice League, Cyborg uses his catchphrase from the animated series Teen Titans? We first met Cyborg outside of the comics in the 2003 series Teen Titans, which was also where we first heard him create his catchphrase, Booyah! Director of Justice League Joss Whedon wanted to include the catchphrase in the movie, much to the annoyance of Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg. Fisher found it weird that the only black character would say that, and it was one of the many complaints about the director of the movie. Nevertheless, the catchphrase was added, but you can see how annoyed Fisher seems as he says it. Did you know in Spider-Man: No Way Home, the difference between Norman Osborn and the Green Goblin is all in the teeth? Whenever Willem Dafoe is in character as Norman Osborn, the character wears prosthetic teeth that give him perfectly straight and white teeth, suited to his character's businesslike and sophisticated appearance. However, when he transforms into the Green Goblin, Dafoe uses his natural teeth, which have a small gap between the front 2 teeth and an overall crooked smile to really add to the creepy and evil side of this villain. Did you know in Spider-Man: Homecoming, the year the middle school was founded has a direct link to the comics? While Peter Parker and his classmates are in gym class, we can see the gym kit t-shirts with the Midtown School of Science and Technology logo on it that also features its founding year, 1962. This year's important in Marvel history, as it's the same year that Spider-Man was first introduced in the comics, specifically the comic book Amazing Power number 15, which was released in August of 1962. Did you know in Jumanji: The Next Level, this actress from the original movie made her return? In the original 1995 movie, Peter and Judy are looked after by their aunt, Nora Shepherd, after their parents die. But Nora's fate is left unanswered as the film ends with their parents alive again after the events of the movie are reversed. We finally have our answer in this movie, as it's revealed that Nora's an old friend of Grandpa Eddie, and even took over ownership of his and Milo's breakfast cafe, renaming it Nora's. Did you know in Mrs. Doubtfire, the man credited as Dr. Toad has a very special connection to Robin Williams? At the end credits of the movie, the bartender who we meet during the hilarious pool scene is credited as Dr. Toad, and as an actual fact, the brother of the late Robin Williams who played Mrs. Doubtfire. The small cameo and role came naturally to Todd Williams, as he was very involved in the alcohol industry, founding his own winery called Toad Hollow Vineyards. Did you know in Kingsman: The Secret Service, at the end of the film, Eggsy finds the princess and she tells him that she'll let him do if he saves the world. After he saves the world, he heads back to her cell and Merlin gives him the code 2625 to enter the cell. The numbers spell out and depending on how you arrange the letters, which is an obvious reference to what comes next. If you like this, subscribe for more. Did you know in Black Widow, Scarlett and Florence had to be boosted up in the car during the epic car chase scene through the streets of Budapest, in which Natasha Romanoff and Yelena try to escape from Taskmaster? Both actresses were too small for the car. Both Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh are only around 5 foot 2 inches tall, and as such, both appeared to be tiny when sat in the BMW. To fix the problem, they both had to be propped up using cushions to seem more of a regular height in the car. Did you know in Toy Story, the carpet in Sid's house has the same design as the carpet from this 1980 horror classic? While Buzz and Woody are stuck in Sid's house trying to find a way to escape, the carpet they run across in the hallway has an eerily familiar resemblance to the carpet found in the Overlook Hotel in Stanley Kubrick's 1980 horror classic, The Shining. This wasn't a coincidence, however. The Easter egg is credited to the production designer on Toy Story, who wanted to make the link given that Sid is essentially the villain of the movie. Did you know in Free Guy, the calendar is missing a date for a specific reason? During the scene in which we see Guy, a background character in the video game, go through his regular morning routine and eat breakfast, you can see that the calendar above the TV is missing the number 4 day. This wasn't a movie mistake, but actually an intentional move by the production designer, who added several changes to Guy's apartment to show that he was a half-developed character and how insignificant he was to the game. Did you know in John Wick, there was a communication error that resulted in Ian McShane thinking that he was actually reprising the character of Lovejoy from the classic British 90s series. It actually took until day 4 of filming before Ian asked where one of the classic characters were, and the crew found out about the confusion. Ian was embarrassed by the mix-up, but since he was under contract, he agreed to continue playing the role of Winston. He insisted on calling everyone Tinker for the duration of filming though. Did you know in Zombieland, the supermarket scene was actually filmed on a movie set that was created from scratch? Even the merchandise is fake through the scene. Items that are shown behind the glass refrigerator are actually printed on paper. Since the scene included breaking merchandise on the shelves, the producers decided that it would be cheaper to create their own set than to buy out a supermarket and pay for any broken merchandise. Did you know in 28 Weeks Later, the shooting script has it written so the kids are left with Doyle instead of Scarlett? In this version, Scarlett is burnt to death, and Doyle is the one that's beaten by Don in the subway. Juan Carlos and Enrique decided to change this at the last minute since leaving the kids with Scarlett would make the situation seem more vulnerable than if they were left with Doyle in the end. Did you know in Game of Thrones, Daenerys Targaryen's dragons are easily recognized by their different colors, and it's much easier in the earlier seasons. Drogon is red, Rhaegal is green, and Viserion is yellowish gold. With that color scheme, they also resemble the 3 dragons that are present in the classic Atari 2600 game, Adventure. In Adventure, Rindle is red, Grundle is green, and Yorgel is yellow. Did you know in Top Gun Maverick, the opening scenes were made in honor of the late Tony Scott? Sadly, in 2012, Tony Scott, who directed the original movie, committed suicide, and as such, the script for the sequel was shelved temporarily. To honor and respect the late director, Joseph Kosinski decided to create the opening scenes in a way that mirrors the opening scenes of the 1986 classic. It's so similar, in fact, that it could easily be mistaken for the opening of the original movie, and was done as a tip of the hat to the late director's extraordinary work. Did you know in Hocus Pocus 2, this original cast member was disappointed to not reprise his role? Omri Cates, who played teen rebel Max Dennison in the original movie, was surprised and disappointed to not be asked back for the sequel. His hope was to please the fan base and have all of the original trio of kids make cameos or have roles, but due to logistics of fitting them all in the story, none of them had roles. Cates said that he would have loved to be involved, but unfortunately hadn't been asked. Did you know in Hocus Pocus 2, we meet the inspiration behind Danny Denison's Halloween costume? During the opening scenes of the sequel, we're introduced to the Mother Witch, played by Hannah Waddingham. The Mother Witch's costume bears a striking resemblance to the red and black outfit we see Danny Denison wearing in the original film, while she's trick-or-treating with her brother. While we didn't know of the existence of the Mother Witch in the original film, the outfit was no doubt a throwback nod for the fan base of the first film to enjoy. Did you know in Don't Worry, Darling, there are multiple references to other works of literature? Alice in Wonderland is one of the biggest connections. The main character's name is Alice. She enters into a fantasy world unwittingly, windows and mirrors play a huge part in the plot of the story, and her neighbor Bunny is a reference to the White Rabbit. Shelley and Frank are a reference to the classic novel, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Both the book and this film are about creators whose creations escape and seek revenge. There's also a Disney animated short called The Skeleton Dance that's seen playing on some of the TVs during the house cleaning scenes.